Hello, it's me, Dave, and this is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is the Cinemile. It's the podcast where we walk home from the movies. A bit of a slight change in format today. Normally, we walk to a movie we haven't seen together and we walk home together. I have already seen this movie a couple of weeks ago with our two boys, and you are going to go see this today with our two boys. So it's their second time seeing this movie, which is partially probably why it's one of the biggest record-breaking animation box offices all time. People are just bringing their kids all the time to this thing.
Well, it's a top parenting hack. Separate your cinema experiences. Kids get to go twice, and then you each get a morning off. Win-win.
Yeah.
Our kids have been obsessed with this movie for like 9 months since they saw the teaser trailer.
And they kept asking to watch the teaser trailer over and over again.
Over and over.
Anytime there was a new trailer, we'd show it to them. They would hungrily watch it over and over again.
Yeah,
There
they've been obsessed. They got
rapid
Mario.
excitement for this.
So much excitement. They got a Mario and a Luigi Teddy at Christmas. And then they saw the movie a day a few weeks ago, and the 3-year-old Elliot said it was the best movie ever. The 5-year-old said it's the second best movie ever after Matilda, so
Yeah.
fair enough. I'm excited.
Boys got taste.
I'm excited. I love going to cinema with the kids, and it looks fun. I mean, fine. I'm happy to watch a Mario movie.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything till after the fact. What's your familiarity with Super Mario Brothers? Have you heard of this? It's a big video game thing.
I have heard of it,
Yeah.
yes, and I have played it lots of times. It's actually the only video game as a young girl that I ever played it a lot with my friends.
We used to play a lot of
it's
Mario
very
Tennis
cross.
on the GameCube, remember?
We used to play a lot of it when we
Yeah.
were older, but as a kid I also played it, and I think it's one of those rare video games that back in the day was also open and accessible to girls playing, and marketed at both genders. So I think it's got a huge reach and never mind all the spin-offs. Yeah, Mario Tennis, Mario Kart, Mario Olympics, I'm sure we used to have. It's just such a great game. But it's such wide appeal.
And what's interesting is our kids don't play video games.
No.
And yet Mario has such a far reach as terms of an IP and merchandise. Like, we've got Lego Super Mario in our house. We've got Oscar just watches YouTube clips of YouTube Kids of people playing Mario Party, and he could watch it for.
Yeah.
I mean, if we didn't turn it off, because we'd find it narratively soul destroying. That he's getting nothing from it. It's just watching, but he just loves it, and he loves like, oh, who's gonna win?
And in the car, we listen to the Mario music all the time. There's brilliant music in it. Luigi's Mansion being a favourite.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Castle.
Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island, good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go.
All right.
And I'll see you
All right,
after.
very good. Right, bye.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
Wow, yay.
But there's one problem. There's a human, has a mustache, just like you.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Oh, I got this. No problem. Yes!
Hi, we're back. Our kids are not with us. They were not interested in talking to any of you people or us. It's just like it's like they're being interrogated. What was your favourite scene in the movie? I don't know. When are we home?
They just love Bowser. They just love Bowser. I really enjoyed it though. Really enjoyed it.
Well, we
Yeah.
should say there's no spoilers for this
spoilers.
movie until Spoiler Street. Not that there's much to spoil here. I don't think there's a single surprise if you're familiar with.
But what it did
Mario.
do is now I've not seen the original Mario movie, so I can't comment
that's
on the
a
plot of that.
whole other thing.
But what this did,
Nobody could comment on the plot of that.
I didn't
It's wild.
realise the plot this movie was going to have in terms of the fact that. Actually, I don't know if it's a spoiler what I'm about to say, so I won't say it. I didn't realise the movie was going to go a certain route, which I really liked. What I loved about the movie, when the movie shone, was when the movie was taking the game elements and the obstacle courses and they were full scenes,
Yeah.
but with plots. They were so much fun. when he's jumping on the box and he's getting different things and he's eating mushrooms or whatever and he's turning into different things. It was so fun.
I think you're a bit generous.
I love
using
how
the word
they-
plot here.
I
but
thought it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Donkey Kong. I think it's actually inspiring, not inspirational, to cast Jack Black as Bowser.
yeah, he was.
Very good.
He was the best of the
Actually,
voice
I'm reaching for
performers.
another word. It was inspired. And I had already heard his song because the boys have been listening to it loads. Peaches, 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 peaches. Very good. And the fact that he was playing the piano, loved. And I just had actually a lot of fun with it. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I've been sitting with it for a couple of weeks now. I'll be honest. I was. What is there? Do the Germans have a word for when you're both like incredibly stimulated, like with your eyes and ears and brain, but also incredibly bored? Because that's
Probably.
how I felt for about half of this movie.
Really?
Yeah, in the middle, I was just like, because what it was lacking in, I think, firstly, to say the positives, this film is gorgeous.
It
Like,
looks wonderful, yeah.
It is like Skittles being beamed into your eyes.
But
it is
much nicer
colourful
than
and
that.
vibrant. Yeah, but no, the rendering is beautiful. Like Mario, as you know, a graphical character, has all of the accompanying worlds and characters that it has never looked better.
Yeah, it was
as it looked up
wonderful.
on that big screen. So, and it was beautiful. I loved hearing all the music cues that are so familiar and gets you with the nostalgia. But there's very little to grab onto here in terms of like character or plot. You know, stuff is just happening because it is happening. Do you know what I mean?
I think there was
There's
actually
no
more plot than I
stakes.
expected.
I mean, we'll talk about it at Spoiler Street, but for me, I wasn't interested in any of that, and neither were our kids. But also, our kids don't care, so it completely delivered for
Well,
our
kids fundamentally misunderstood the ending, which I found hilarious. But they loved it. Like, they've sat through it twice and would go 100 times more.
Yeah,
if we
because
were willing to.
it's just a feast for the eyes.
And when I went today with two of their little friends, one of whom had also already seen it, so I was with 3 kids who'd already seen it, and they just all loved it.
Yeah, and they're pointing out stuff like, oh, that's Bowser, that's a shy guy, do you know?
Yeah.
So they're just so happy to see that stuff on the big screen. So I would say I'm not surprised the film is raking in the money because it delivers exactly on what you would expect the Super Mario Brothers IP to deliver on. It has all of the recognizable elements. It looks like the game. It's got power-ups. But I just felt like I have a very high bar personally for animation, and we are living in a golden few decades of animation. So firstly, Pixar redefined.
Yeah, but
what-
Pixar's past it. Like, Pixar
I'll
isn't it anymore?
Let me finish,
You can
because
finish,
that
yeah.
was what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Pixar redefined what animation could mean to the family, because it has incredibly complicated and complex themes for adults, wonderful characters, and entertaining for kids. They did that in the late 90s, early noughties. They are past it, I agree. But Walt Disney Studios picked up the baton and have done some great work with Frozen and
Moana.
Zootopia, Moana. So that those movies are of such a higher standard than this, and then and that's not even factoring in studios like Cartoon Saloon or Sony Pictures doing Spider-Man, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. You know,
Define standard. I think this film is of an incredibly high standard.
think of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or the Lego Movie, right? They are tackling.
Well, no,
character-
but they've got more complex stories.
Yes.
This film is actually, I think, targeted at a younger age group.
Yeah, I agree. This is more a kids' film, and again, I think it is perfect as a kids' film, and deserves all the money it is bringing in for having done that. But I'm saying, as an adult, this is adults listening to this podcast. We're adults
No, our
talking.
typical audience is between the age of 3 and 5.
I'm saying that if this was 20 years ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, we brought our kids to a kids' film and they had fun. We've been spoiled with a feast of bounties from Pixar and from like Spider-Man. The Lego Movie was like, our kids love the Lego Movie, and I love those movies. They are funny. They like the year I saw the Lego Movie, it was the best movie I'd seen in cinemas. I could not believe how inventive and wildly funny and clever, and actually it had something to say about childhood and our relationships to toys and our imaginations. What I'm saying is this movie could have done any of that, even just injected a little, but it didn't. It is just, and I don't think, I'm not criticizing it for being a bad movie, because it is not a bad movie. It is a totally grand movie.
But on the bar of actual kids films, actual animations, this is really high.
Oh, there is Drek. I know. Yeah, so
most stuff we watch is terrible.
I'm fixing my sight very up high, and I'm saying this is nowhere near what I come to expect from a brilliant kids movie. But if I look downwards, I've got stuff, a lot of stuff in this studio's wheelhouse: Illumination, Secret Life of Pets, and some of the DreamWorks stuff is just dragged. But
I watched a trailer before the film started, and you probably saw the same one for Elemental, which I think is the new Pixar.
That doesn't look great.
I could not follow the trailer.
Yeah, I don't think that looks good.
I actually really stand for kids films having fairly simple plots. But what this had was fairly complex visuals at certain points. So I have to say, for me, it really struck the right chord. I think we should get into spoilers, but before we do, one thing I want to talk about, because it was such chaos on the internet, like when Chris Pratt was announced as the voice, he's completely fine.
Yeah, he's totally fine.
People need to just calm down.
The internet needs to
honestly, he's completely fine. They make a bit of a joke about the Italian accent once, but he's basically an Italian-American accent. It's totally fine. They
deal with that in a very clever way, I thought.
I thought it was really clever.
But here's the thing, I don't know if you found this. I expected to laugh a lot more. I thought this would be funny.
I thought it was funny.
I didn't think it was very funny at all.
I think I was just in a really good mood when I went to see it. It just kind of impacts you.
There were two or three gags, but even the Minions movies have more gags than this.
Yeah, I was just in a good mood, and I love going to cinema with the kids, and it's my ideal way to spend a Sunday afternoon. So I can watch. I have a very low bar when I go to cinema with the kids, but I really enjoyed this. Now on to spoilers.
Okay, so spoilers now for Super Mario Brothers the movie. So I don't know, what do you want to spoil? That bit in the beginning I thought was very clever with the ad.
This
and then
is
did
what
we
I
go
wasn't
overboard
sure.
on the accents?
Very funny. What I wasn't
kind
sure
of nice
is
meta joke.
Spoiler or not, and I think it is because I've seen the trailer enough times, is that they actually exist in the real world.
Yeah.
And then they travel to this land.
Yeah.
Was that in the Bob Hoskins movie?
It was weirdly.
But I've never seen that.
In fact, the first 20 minutes of this movie weirdly parallels the Bob Hoskins movie. It's exactly the same. They have a plumbing emergency. It doesn't go well. They're down in their luck, and then they discover a pipe underneath Brooklyn, which goes to a magical world.
Okay, so it's
and
the same
that
plot.
Is where the similarities end, because the Bob Hoskins Dennis Hopper movie is wild.
I cannot believe
from there on it's like a weird dystopian Blade Runner with dinosaurs.
I cannot believe they were in that movie. Dennis Hopper, what the hell?
Well, that's the whole thing. He hated it, refused to talk about it afterwards. except to badmouth the directors.
It infuriates me when actors participate in projects and then badmouth them and refuse to participate in promoting them, and that's a separate topic for a separate day.
It's a fascinating story. Everyone should go read up on the story of the making of that 93 movie.
Anyway,
but it was
I
so
wasn't
bad that
expecting
Nintendo refused to do anything with any of their properties and cinema for 30 years, and now they're sitting on an absolute cash cow. We're going to see
Well, I did notice
sequels.
that Yoshi was not in this movie, so Yoshi is in the wings, waiting. Now, so what I really liked is I like all the plot. They're trying to go into their own business. I thought the ad was proper funny.
That was
I love the setup of them being brothers and looking out for each other, and I actually think that really resonates with R2, and the fact that Mario, the older brother, Oscar has his teddy and Elliot has Luigi's teddy, and they kind of think that they're Mario and Luigi. It's so sweet.
But didn't you think Luigi's plot should have been there's no character arc here for anyone. Shouldn't Luigi have had a moment where he's I can do it by myself without my brother Mario?
No, because their whole point was we're stronger together.
Yeah, I guess.
That was just but David spoke. It's for kids.
I know, but it's not much of a theme for kids to take home.
But surely it's a lovely theme, because when I left with the boys, I said to them, "You're like Mario and Luigi. You're stronger together.
Yeah, okay.
You look after each other." And I thought that was a really nice message.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm sorry, but Luigi has always been and will always be C-list. He doesn't deserve
that's
his
what
own
I mean. I just felt bad for Luigi.
Why?
I did think it was clever that they
Justice for Luigi.
that they mixed obviously these games were made in the 80s and it was about rescuing a princess from a castle. I like that they just flipped that and
They completely
Luigi
changed
needs
that.
rescuing.
And also, like Daisy's visuals annoy me, but I appreciate they stuck with how she looks in the video games. But I love
But
that
she's very
she was
competent
actually,
and cool.
She was, so it's always about rescuing her from Bowser. That it all wasn't this. Nobody helped her get away from Bowser. She did it herself.
If anything, she's too competent. Like, why does she need Mario? That's what I kept asking.
No, but that was the whole point. She didn't need Mario, but Mario needed to come and get his brother.
Yeah, I
So
suppose.
she's like, you can tag along. And I have to say, my favourite
sorry.
scene. No, I have two favourite scenes in the movie. One of them was when she says, like, you can come with me, but only if you do this obstacle course.
Yeah.
And it's basically like a training montage of Mario, like, learning how to do all the stuff. I thought that was properly enjoyable. Like, I really, really enjoyed that.
It was fun.
And then he didn't even complete it, which is quite funny. And then my other favourite scene was Bowser on the piano.
Yeah, that,
So
I mean,
good.
that was
without
good.
that scene, or without that song, and you having played it to me before I saw the film, I don't know that I'd have. When he's speaking, I wouldn't have recognised Jack Black's voice, would you?
No, although it is so. Yeah, you're right.
it's modified.
When he's singing, well, he's probably putting on a bit of a voice, you know, or
Yeah.
a deep voice. But when he's singing, it's so.
And then
like,
that scene when Bowser and his
recognisably
what's
him.
his name again, his little minion, are acting out the proposal
Yeah.
scenes and stuff. Like I thought,
There's
and
some
what I
funny
really
stuff,
liked is that he's like, he wants to propose to Princess Peach, and she's just like, I won't marry you. And then she starts going up the aisle, and then like she beats him. And actually, I'm really glad to see all that because it's just embarrassing how she is in the video games. But hilariously, when I say our kids didn't understand the plot, I said, what was your favourite bit? And Elliot said, when Peaches and Bowser got married. I was like, and he didn't get married. Probably the most boring bit, but it's fun, but it went on too long, was the Mario Kart bit. That
I thought
dragged.
the that was the best action scene. I thought.
Yeah, it was really good
It
action.
was really well done.
No, the best action scene to me was I
like-
love Donkey Kong and Mario's fight. I thought that was
Oh, that was quite good.
brilliant,
I
yeah.
thought Seth Rogen was badly cast. I just thought all I heard was Seth Rogen.
Do you know, I didn't
you know what I
recognise his voice.
Are you
Why did
kidding
he
me?
have such different
He even had the Seth Rogen
experiences?
laugh. I mean, it was just it was too much.
I love
the rest
that
of
scene of them
everyone else
fighting.
kind of disappeared a bit.
It was like Mario and Spartacus. It was like Mario with Spartacus. I just really enjoyed
But it
that
made
whole
no
sequence.
sense. Anyway, as soon as they start thinking about any of this, like, why didn't Peach do it? She's way more competent, as we know.
Because the king challenged Mario, and that's all you need to know.
Oh, sure, okay. Cranky Kong is his name, who was also very different than he is in the games.
And
I
I
lo-
loved all the little like mushrooms, Toad. I loved the visualization of the different worlds. Like I think, it's such a big achievement to stay so true to the core of the visuals of the game, but look at like a completely different planet. The scale is so beautiful on it, and I guess next movie they're going to have to do like Mario Tennis. How are they going to bring in all the different games?
Yeah, I don't know.
I did enjoy, because I don't recall, but I must have played it at one point, when Mario turned into like a cat and stuff.
yeah, that's.
That looked,
I
and they
think-
made a gag.
I think
And
that's
did you
in
tell
new
me
Super
everyone?
Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun. I had a load of fun with it. I recommend anyone go and see it. To be honest, that has kids. I wouldn't recommend
Do
it
you know,
like go on your
I'll
own as
take
an
that,
adult.
Talk about that Peaches thing, right? It probably is the most interesting thing in the movie, right? And I think it's got like loads of views on YouTube, and they've done a music video of Jack Black. But it's okay. That's how that song reflects how I feel about the whole movie. I'm listening to that song, and when I saw Jack Black had a song about Bowser being in love with Peach, I thought that's such a great idea.
It is such a great
This is
idea.
going to be so funny, and I can't wait to hear the lyrics they've done. And are we going to get this Flight of the Conchords kind of level stuff? And then it was like, and then it's just Peaches, 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 Peaches.
Yeah, they could have done
And I'm
more.
like, it's like they just sat Jack. It's almost like they just caught Jack Black riffing one day, and they were like, or they were just like, hey, could you just sit at that piano, we'll riff something, it'd be really funny. And it felt like they did not go beyond that. So no
Yeah,
extra word, like,
I agree.
and the lyrics could have been, the lyrics are just, you're so cool, I'm gonna love you forever. And I'm just like, guys, like, where are the jokes? And
Yeah.
that's what I felt throughout a lot of this movie.
So I
And-
guess the joke is that Bowser's sitting at the piano and singing, but to your point, they could have elevated that.
But yeah, make good some funny writing. I think there's very little effort went into the writing of this movie, or not very little thought beyond it, beyond maintaining the integrity of Nintendo's characters and its brands and getting all the IP and
that's
Easter eggs,
okay,
which they
though.
did very well.
Yeah.
So that's my whole point, is that they did a fine job and they did exactly what they needed to do and they've made a load of money.
They did way
but
more
it's
than a
just
fine job, though.
It's just missed opportunity. I'm just like, couldn't you have just punched this up a bit and put some extra layers of like, I don't know, like characterization or comedy or just like my whole point is we have been spoiled for 20 years with some of the finest like 4 quadrants entertainment you can get, and this isn't it. You know, this is very, very serviceable to 1 quadrant. And then the rest
disagree,
of them.
and the box office would say otherwise. This movie is absolutely blowing away records, right?
Yeah, but like, money doesn't equal quality.
But like,
in my
we've both
mind.
paid for our kids to see it twice, and we've each paid for it.
Yeah, and I think that was good value. But does that mean I think this is one of the best animated movies I've ever seen?
No one's asking if you think it's one of the best animated movies you've ever seen.
Isn't that the very nature of this conversation?
No.
Isn't that what we're trying to ask? And
No, we're just trying to ask, how is this movie
where
in
does
relation
this stack up?
in relation to itself?
And I've answered that.
Okay.
It's absolutely fine. It's like, it does what it needs to do, but I'm like, why didn't they put more effort in?
Okay.
The animators did great work, and the other thing that bothered me was the needle drops. But like, why is
What do you
AHA?
mean?
You've got 30.
What do you mean needle drops?
30 years. The music cues. You've got 30 years of iconic Mario music to pull from, Donkey Kong music, everything. Like, incredible, and a lot of that's in here. But then "Take on Me" is the song they use
I
for the
really like
go-karts.
that.
No, that
I
felt
really
like
liked when
I'm in a Minions movie.
Okay, stop.
You're just like quoting
Okay.
pop culture. It's just
That's not quoting pop culture. That's using a song.
AC/DC.
And I liked when he had "I Need
No.
a Hero" for his montage.
No,
really enjoyed that.
no,
yeah,
really,
really
I
enjoyed
did.
it.
No, just use the music.
And I
Keep
really
it
liked when
in-game.
Bowser was at the piano and he's like, "Jam with me" to his minion, and they were playing the Mario music. But then he also slammed it on his hand. I thought it was fun. Anyway, thank you for listening. Let us know what you thought.
Why
of
aren't you letting me have a go at this movie?
You've had a go.
Yeah. No, but you are really put out by this.
I'm not put out.
And you're like, Dave, it's just fun.
I
It's
just
just
think
like,
you need to
what's
calm
the
down.
whole point of this podcast except to like pick things apart and say what could have been better or what
Okay.
was good? That's the vibe I'm getting from you, is like, how dare you?
By no means do I care about this movie or like I'm defensive of it. But my theory is that the stuff you're saying, but you think it should be punched up and a bit funnier, I would imagine it's probably the opposite, where there was probably a lot more in that the studio would have just taken out, because it's such a family brand and such
Yeah.
a young
And
age
Nintendo
group.
are famously careful
Like
with their
there's
brand.
very
yeah.
few game properties that are aimed at kids as young as this is. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no games expert, but absolutely none that I can think of. I would imagine that any kid today, the first game they'd have access to is the Super Mario one, maybe a Lego one. So it's at that level of family entertainment, and I would imagine that were there funnier jokes or more layers for adults, they probably got pulled out. That'd be my guess.
But yeah, I know.
So,
But I'm not asking for, you know, slightly bawdy references that only the adults will get or anything like that. It's not a DreamWorks ask I'm asking for. I'm asking for, like, just put a bit of work into your characters and your story. Why are people doing this? And then say something
But
about
they really thought
society.
about Peach.
You can do that.
They really thought about Peach, though. There was a big concerted effort there to make her an actual character. Also, Daisy not in this movie. So loads to mind
yeah,
for the next
there's
movie,
loads
yeah.
more. Yeah.
I look forward to more. Anyway,
Anyway,
thank you for
thanks
listening.
for listening. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah, we're on Twitter if you can find us. We've lost our blue tick. It was a very sad day in our household.
All the Cinemile impersonators are going to pop up now.
And no, Twitter, we're not willing to pay you $1,100 a month to buy it back as an organisation. Thank you. They tried to push that to me this morning. So we're on Twitter at Cinemile. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Cinemile. We are on Letterboxd at Cinemile. And of course, come over to Patreon, where we do regular TV and movie reviews. We just watched Midnight Run as a retro movie review this month, which was great. And we are doing weekly reviews of Succession.
Yes, episode 5 is coming up.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm Laura.
I'm Lauren.
And this is Go Love Yourself. And she went, you're 26? I was like, size 26, yeah. And she was like, oh, right, that makes sense.
This is the show where we're learning to love ourselves a little more and taking you along with us.
I grew up never seeing anybody that looked like me, and that made me feel like not part of society, like almost like not a woman, because I just never felt like I fit in.
If you've got a relative that is mean about your body, Laura, what do we say to them?